Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF44 coming at you with another video. All right, 111-103 was the score of Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 6 was close, and I am very, very pleased with the outcome. Very pleased as a Laker fan, and as someone who predicted that this thing would go 7. I couldn't be happier, and I also couldn't be more confused. I don't know what's going on. I'm going to be honest with you. As someone who's watched this entire series very, very closely, I don't know what to think anymore. I have no idea what to think. I've never been more confused. Nothing makes any sense. Kyle Lowry stepped into this game, had 18 points, 10 assists. Last several times I saw him, he could barely run up and down the court. Couldn't get anything going. Hadn't hit a shot pretty much all series. Looked great tonight. Fouled out a little early, kind of put things in jeopardy because he was very much important to what they were doing. But ultimately, they were able to hold it out. Jimmy Butler. Man had 47 points tonight. That was the most points scored by anyone who's ever faced elimination. So a person facing elimination, no one's ever scored that much. Setting records tonight. He's coming off one of the worst games of his, actually two of the worst games of his life. I didn't know what kind of Jimmy we were seeing. I know they were talking about the knee inflammation situation, and he hadn't looked right since then. So I was just assuming, you know what? It's the knee. But we called him out. Nevertheless, if you're going to be out there, you got to be helpful. 418 wasn't going to cut it. And he came out there and not only gave him 47 points, but if I'm not mistaken, he had 4 steals, 9 boards, like 8 assists. He had a legendary stat line tonight. Legendary. And he kind of tweaked his ankle a little bit down there in the fourth quarter, but kept playing, and was just the best player on the floor tonight. Simple as that. PJ Tucker was outstanding. I thought he really made his imprint tonight defensively. The way he closed out on that steal down the stretch was just some of the best defense I had seen in these playoffs. I gotta call out Jaylen Brown, turning the ball over down the stretch, missing 2 very key free throws down the stretch. Only 20 points in a game 6 when you're supposed to be trying to close somebody out. That's not the Jaylen Brown the Celtics needed tonight. But that wasn't the biggest problem. The biggest problem was the rebounding. Okay, you give Al Horford his credit. He had about 9 boards. And you give Jason Tatum his credit. He had about 9 boards. But if you look at Robert Williams, he had 1 rebound on the night. You look at Grant Williams, I believe he had 2 rebounds on the night. The Williams brothers can't give me 3 boards in a game 6 closeout game, man. I can't do nothing with that, Boston. I can't do nothing with that. Now, Derek White was outstanding. He was outstanding. He was one of the best players out there tonight, hitting shot after shot. He was doing everything he could to get his team going. And I didn't see him skip a beat, except for behind the arc where he missed a couple key threes down the stretch, which ultimately did hurt the team. But I mean, you can't get mad at a guy like that when you see what he did in these last 2 games. He's been great since coming back. But, I got to look back at Grant Williams again. Brother, I know you play defense and you were good out there defensively. I ain't saying you wasn't working. You was getting hit in the face, getting slapped around, all that. But if you're not giving me any boards, can I at least get some points? If I'm not mistaken, my man Grant had 3 points tonight. I can't do nothing with 3 points in a game 6 closeout game. Here we go again. Boston, I said this about them, and I'll say it now. It's my exact same issue I have with the Miami Heat. They don't score like that. Neither one of these teams are really going to shoot you out the gym. If their superstars are not having massive nights like Jason Tatum had in these last 2 games, like Jimmy Butler had tonight, both of these teams struggle scoring the basketball. They're both great defensively. Well, I don't know if Miami's great defensively, but they're good defensively and can be close to great when they want to be. And Boston's definitely great defensively. but they both have their offensive issues. Tonight, the Boston Celtics shot 30+% from behind the arc. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to get it done. They didn't shoot too many of them, but you have to be able to hit a better percentage than what they did. 1 for 8, I believe it was, for Al Horford. 1 for 7 from behind the arc. That ain't going to cut it, man. Did a lot of good things, assisting the ball and rebounding, playing defense. But those 1-fers, those hurt when you're not winning the rebounding total. We've already been talking about that in the other series that just ended. When you're clanking shots like Dallas was, or you're clanking shots like Boston was tonight, you had better be pulling them boards off the rim. Or otherwise you're doubling down on the possessions the other team is getting, and that's exactly what you saw. Now the Miami Heat got off to an early, good, hot start hitting the 3. Jimmy got off to a quick 3s to start the game, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm saying if I'm not mistaken because I did miss a lot of that. But was listening to the announcers talk about it and saw the stats and all that good stuff. But the majority of this game I did get a chance to view, and it was a close game throughout. You know, that early start, Miami got them with a nice little lead there, but Boston cut back into it and eventually got the lead back. And guys were going back and forth. You know, Jason Tatum was really good tonight. You got to give him his credit. You know, he was hitting shots, assisting the ball, rebounding the ball, and turning the ball over. 7 of them on the night. JT Money, I can't do nothing with that. In the Game 6 closeout game, etc., etc. You know what I'm trying to say here, you guys. Boston, you have a team like the Miami Heat who's hobbled to death. Their scoring punch off the bench is not available to them in Tyler Hero. Just about everybody on their team is hurt, man. There's no way you come into this game and not get the victory at home in a Game 6. When this series has gone the way it has and you have them by the throat the way you do and you can't close the deal, you let Jimmy Butler go off for 47 points. It's only one person down there scoring, Boston. You're supposed to be the best defense in the league. And this man set a record on your home floor to keep his season alive. If that same man had basically not scored in 2 games, I would say he didn't even deserve to be out there tonight. And now as the series heads back to Miami, I'm not certain Boston deserves to be there on Sunday, because they did not show up tonight. The effort, I'm not saying the effort wasn't there. I saw effort. Guys played hard. But Marcus Smart, we got to hit shots, man. You can't be out there launching and not hitting. That you know, I mean, his inefficiency tonight was very hurtful for the team, even though you know he helped them on other areas. You know he did. But the inefficiency, you know. But I think ultimately the most harmful aspect of this entire situation is only getting 3 rebounds from the Williams, man. So the Celtics can't survive that. They can't survive 2 of their most important, most reliable pieces not contributing to the rebounding total. It just can't happen. Especially when you consider you're going up against a Heat team that you know has trouble scoring. All you got to do is limit their possessions and they out of here. And you only got 34 boards tonight. I don't know, man. I don't know. And it's not like I'm sitting here saying, oh, the Celtics are done. Now it's really over. How can I have faith in either one of these teams to that degree? After what we've seen through 6 games, there's no way to believe anything. All I know is that I'm expecting a blowout of some sort in Game 7. That's all I know. We got our one little close game in this one. I'm pretty certain we're not going to see another, because we got 5 full blowouts out of this thing. So I ain't about to fool myself into thinking we about to get another one of these. This was the only one we're probably getting of that. Whatever it'll be decisive. But I'll tell you this. I definitely enjoyed watching the Miami Heat bounce back from that horrible home performance. And I honestly don't know if they feel too good about going back to their building, judging by how they've played at home. They have looked awful in these last 2 home games. In fact, they've looked more inept at home than they have in Boston Garden. I think they kind of wish the game 7 would be back in Boston. This is one of those rare situations where I honestly, legitimately think that. Like, I don't think I've ever felt that in my life. But as bad as Miami's looked at home, I would much rather this game be in Boston if I'm them. It's just weird. It's weird like that. But nevertheless, they will have the crowd behind them. You're happy to see Max Strus see some shots fall, even though he bricked quite a few of them just the same. He did hit his share. Gabe Vincent didn't get any real playing time tonight. He was 0 for 2. That was kind of surprising given the fact that he's been hot lately. I'm pretty sure he'll get some run in Game 7. Victor Oladipo had some good moments. I liked what I saw from him a whole lot. Driving at the basket, getting fouled, hitting three-point shots. He was one of the more key players out there tonight, especially given the fact that Tyler wasn't out there. I thought Victor Oladipo was very key and has been very key defensively all series long. Big part of why Jaylen Brown's been struggling, as we know. So you gotta give him credit. You know, Jaylen Brown filled in. It wasn't like he wasn't helpful. He had about 5 assists. I think he had about 4 turnovers. You know, but my thing is that point total, man. That point total. You're one of the designated scorers on this team. That has to go upwards. You know, if he gives you 30 tonight, the Boston Celtics are going to the finals. You know what I mean? And it's one of those situations where I know everybody's playing hard. They did a great job against him. Give the Miami Heat credit for what the job that they did on Jaylen. But I just need him to come up with more scoring. Hell or high water. When you're an all-star player like him in a situation like this, we just don't leave any excuses. We just don't. So that's what it is, man. I just felt like the Boston Celtics left a very key situation on there for themselves, a great opportunity on the table. And if they would have closed it out, who knows what the future holds for them? I don't know about a Game 7. You know what I mean? Of course, one would think they are favored to win it. You consider it took 47 points and a million everything else from Jimmy Butler for them to get this victory by 6 points. And a great shooting performance from behind the arc, for which the Miami Heat haven't really given us very much in this series. So a lot of things happened tonight, including the ineptitude from the behind the arc for the Celtics, as well as the rebounding total, which we just don't expect to see continue into a Game 7. So, yeah, a lot of things fell into place. You're going to hear people complaining about the officiating. It was definitely questionable tonight. I will throw that out there. We saw some calls tonight that were especially confusing, I think is the word I'll use. Charge calls and stuff like that. There was one call where there was I guess Jaylen Brown had gotten hit in the face, and I don't remember who it was, but to me it seemed like Jaylen Brown's foot had tripped. I think it was PJ Tucker. And PJ Tucker, it might have been PJ, it might have been someone else, but their hand whiplashed and hit him in the face as he ran past him, and they ignored the actual initial foot contact, which I thought was the real foul. The announcers didn't mention it, and they didn't really acknowledge it in the review, so I just thought that was kind of confusing. I'm like, am I tripping? Is that not considered a trip? So I don't know. Maybe I'm alone on that, but I thought that was the actual foul. So yeah, man, I'm kind of strange when it comes to stuff that stands out to me. I'll forget about a dunk, but I'll remember something like that. So that's just how my brain works. But either way, when it comes down to it, that game was entertaining for me. I think most people were refreshed to see a game that was close, that wasn't decided in the first 10 minutes. And, just kudos to the Miami Heat for fighting back. This is one of the more historic comebacks in terms of teams playing poorly from one game to the next. And when you think about that this season, you think about the Golden State Warriors having lost the closeout game in Memphis by 50 points or whatever it was, and then coming back and winning that series. So I don't know if that's going to have anything to carry over in regards to that energy, but what I can say is I know the Boston Celtics aren't happy about how they lost this game. Even though it wasn't a blowout or anything like that, I know for a fact they're going to come in with a certain level of intensity um, that should mirror what the Miami Heat brought to Game 6. And, maybe it'll be enough. Maybe it'll be enough, but you just don't want to play extra basketball. And I think that this would qualify as that for the Boston Celtics when you have an opportunity to get a stranglehold on a team that's just hobbling and doesn't seem to have a whole lot left. You got to come out firing. You got to come out boarding. You got to come out beating them to loose balls. The effort that comes to mind was Max Strus fighting his way from the corner all the way to an offensive rebound where he was fouled. And that foul is only going to take place because of the hustle. And that was what you saw tonight. More hustle from the Miami Heat. Just a little bit more intensity to 50-50 balls and things of that nature. So that's why Game 6 is in the books with them winning it. And we will see Game 7 on Sunday. I believe that game is at 5:30 in Miami, Florida. FTX Center, I believe is the name of that building. So I'm excited. The stars are going to be out. You're going to see Rick Ross there. You're going to see Khaled there. You're going to see all the stars. It's going to be a big deal. White hot. You know how they get down. But it's not about everybody else. It's about how those 15 men react to coming back home where they have struggled in this series. And most importantly, a Boston Celtic team who's coming back to that building feeling very confident because they have won there more than once in this series. So, yeah, I'm going to make a suggestion to everybody who watches me. Stay away from betting on this Game 7. Stay away from this one. Because as unpredictable as this series has been and has had as drastic as these point totals have been, it's some weird stuff going on in my opinion. I'm gonna leave it at that. If you happen to bet on this game and you guess right, congratulations. But this type of series, the way it's gone, I'm not. For only friendlies, I'm not putting no money on that. So yeah, that's just what I want to throw out there. All in all, great game from the Heat. Lost opportunity for the Celtics. And in my history of watching basketball, not too many teams get a chance to come back from what the Boston Celtics just let happen to them, which is losing a closeout game where you're up in the series at home. The home court advantage is such an important thing, and a struggling team like Miami has it going back to a Game 7. I tell you, them 2 missed free throws from Jaylen Brown. There were other plays that took place in this game that were important. That was a huge shift. Kyle Lowry hit some big shots as well that shifted momentum big time. So it was a lot of things that worked out, A lot of things that didn't, depending on who you're going for. Jimmy Butler gets the game ball tonight. Wow. Game 7. I can't believe it, man. As a Laker fan, I'm like, I thought I was dead in the water. I was like 4 games away for the Celtics. They're going to win one. And now there's a chance for me to actually not only not have that happen, but my initial prediction could actually still be right. After all this. And mind you, I don't even want to take credit for that because I went against that prediction that said the Celtics were going to win tonight. But they didn't. They did not. BDO 44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.